Hello and welcome. You're watching Unplugged TV India. This is Alice Francis. Thanks for tuning in. After 3 weeks of being hounded by the state, Mohammad Zubair gets bail from the Supreme Court in all 6 FIRs lodged against him. Not only that, all future proceedings have been stalled. The SIT against him is disbanded. But does this mean justice? Does this mean that facts can be checked without fear or truth be told? Will the state not hound those raising uncomfortable questions? Well, we'll get into the details of the story in a while, but before that, let's dive into some of the top headlines from around the world. Draupadi Murmu becomes new President of India. NDA candidate Draupadi Murmu has been elected as the 15th President of India on Thursday. She is the first tribal woman to occupy the top constitutional post of the country. Her competition was with the opposition candidate Yashwant Sinha. The swearing-in ceremony is scheduled to be on July 25th after Ramnath Kovind's tenure ends on July 24. Sharad Pawar dissolves all national level department cells of NCP. NCP Chief Sharad Pawar has dissolved all national level departments and cells of the party. NCP National General Secretary Praful Patel said all the national level departments and cells excluding Nationalist Women Congress, Nationalist Youth Congress and Nationalist Student Congress stand dissolved with immediate effect. This decision does not apply to Maharashtra, he added. Sonia Gandhi appears before ED in National Herald case. Congress interim President Sonia Gandhi reached the Enforcement Directorate on Thursday office to appear for questioning in connection with the National Herald case. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Sonia was accompanied by daughter Priyanka Gandhi Vadra to the office due to the leader's ill health, according to reports. The agency earlier questioned Congress leader Rahul Gandhi in connection with the same case. Doors of Matoshri open for those who wants to return, says Aditya to Shinde camp. Shiv Sena MLA Aditya Thackeray on Thursday said that the real Shiv Sainiks are still with the party led by Uddhav Thackeray. Referring to MLAs who joined Eknath Shinde-led government, he added that doors of Matoshri are going to remain open for those who want to return. The ones we trusted and offered ministerial posts backstabbed us, he further added. Haryana to conduct judicial inquiry into DSP's death by mining. Haryana to conduct judicial inquiry into DSP's death by mining mafia. Haryana government will conduct a judicial inquiry into DSP Surendra Singh's death by mining mafia in Nuha. State Home Minister and Anil Vij said a probe will also be conducted against all other circumstances of illegal mining in that area. Singh was allegedly killed by the mafia on Tuesday after he reached the spot basis information about illegal mining. Ranil Wickremesinghe sworn in as Sri Lanka's president amid crisis. Ranil Wickremesinghe was sworn in as Sri Lanka's new president on Thursday at the Parliament complex before Chief Justice Jayanta Jayasuriya. The 73-year-old on Wednesday won 134 votes in the 225-member parliament after his predecessor Gotabaya Rajapaksa fled the country and resigned from his post last week. Sri Lanka is facing its worst economic crisis since its independence in 1948. Rishi Sunak lists Truss through to final round of UK PM race. Former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak and Foreign Secretary Liz Truss will battle it out to become Britain's next Prime Minister after they won the final vote among Conservative Party MPs, setting up the last stage of the contest to replace former leader Boris Johnson. Sunak has led in all rounds of the voting among Conservative legislators, but it is Truss who seems to have gained the advantage so far among the 200,000 members of the governing party who will ultimately choose the winner. The Supreme Court on Wednesday ordered the release of fact-checker Mohammad Zubair, co-founder of All News, on interim bail in all UP police FIRs. A bench led by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud observed that the existence of power of arrest must be pursued sparingly by the police. 6 separate cases have been filed against Zubair in Uttar Pradesh, 2 in Hathras and 1 each in Ghaziabad, Muzaffarnagar, Lakhimpur Kheri and Sitapur. In Lakhimpur Kheri, a court rejected his bail application on Saturday. He was summoned over a case registered against him in September 18, 2021 after a complaint was filed by a journalist of a Sudarshan news channel of a fact-check tweet. The complaint had reportedly accused Zubair of misleading people. Through his tweet about his channel, he was sent to judicial custody for 14 days in the case. The Hathras police too last week moved a plea in the court of Chief Judicial Magistrate seeking Zubair's remand. The bench was of the view that there is a vicious cycle of bail and FIR, so there is no justification to keep Zubair in continued custody any further and subject him to diverse proceedings when the gravamen of allegations arises from the tweets which forms part of investigation by Delhi police, in which case he has already been granted bail. The Supreme Court also refused to impose a bail condition that he should not tweet again. It said, "We can't say that he won't tweet again. It is like telling a lawyer that you should not argue. How can we tell a journalist that he will not write? If there are any tweets against law, he will be answerable. How can any anticipatory order that someone will not speak?" Justice Chandrachud told. The court has further ordered disbanding of the SIT formed by UP Police for investigation of FIRs against Zubair. It has clubbed off all the FIRs and said that the case should be handled by one investigating authority, that is Special Cell of Delhi Police. The Supreme Court has also made it clear that Zubair will be at liberty to seek quashing of the FIRs before the Delhi High Court. Zubair's bail is subjected to his filing a personal bond of Rs 20,000 in connection with the 7 UP FIRs. Well, with the court's order, something is clear. Zubair got bail. In other words, debunking, fact-checking and stopping propaganda also got bail. What happened in court is not just about Zubair, but also about the country and constitution. It is about our right to speech. From the last 3 weeks, even if Zubair was granted bail in one case, he was still in police custody for another case. So it seems that now even the court understood what was happening here and how the law was taken lightly, because it had stopped UP police from taking any further action against him. Even in Nupur Sharma's case, which had created havoc while in protests after her remark on the Prophet, even she was granted protection from the arrest. So logically, even Zubair was to get the same treatment. But that's not what happened here. Now, defense say that Zubair's tweet and fact-checking was bringing enmity and outrage and riot in the country. Defense said that debunking is necessary in this digital era, and law cannot be weaponized if one propaganda is busted. The court in response said that none of the tweets were improper, tweets by Zubair. So clearly, law was used as an instrument to harass Zubair. After the order granting relief to Zubair was dictated, senior advocate and additional advocate general of UP, Garima Prasad, asked the bench to impose a bail condition restraining him from tweeting in future and sought an undertaking that he will not tamper with evidence. He said the evidence is all in public domain, the bench said, refusing to impose any bail conditions separately. Prasad argued that Zubair cannot be considered a journalist. Justice Chandrachud said, "What we say in public or private, we are answerable to the law. How can we pass any anticipatory order that someone will not speak?" Meanwhile, Zubair's counsel, Vrinda Grover, called the state action against him an orchestrated investigation. So back to the reality that why all this started in the first place. Why so many FIRs against Zubair? Maybe because Zubair and alt news are quite effective against fake news. They have been busting fake news for a long time now. Authorities had to come and take actions many times because of a small organization's fact-checking. And maybe that is why the government is also scared, because this organization takes its job seriously and opens people's eyes to fake news. Small organizations like alt news are also a threat to news channels because obviously it is their job to bring out the truth, but that is not happening. And that is when alt news and fact checking digital channels come into the frame of fame. One ray of hope can break through one ocean of lies. Finally, there is a justice and hope maintained by the Supreme Court. But here, people also needs to wake up and stand for the truth.